Right, this is the fastest way to build out your workshops in Ark Raiders. It really won't take that long now that we've got a couple new maps to play with that have a lot more loot in. And I'm going to show you the best loot routes to get everything you need. First, let's talk about what we actually need to get all of the workshops up to level 3, because it can be a little bit confusing at times. I like to use the MetaForge app workshop tracker. This isn't sponsored, it's just a nice way to see everything in one single page. So we can see all of the items we need for every level here, which makes it a little bit easier, because the trouble is, in game, you won't be able to track or check resources until you've leveled up each stage. This way, it gets us a good idea of what we need from the get-go. My best suggestion to you is take a very close look at everything you need, because you're going to want to remember it so that you save time and don't have to come back in future raids to get anything you've missed. There's a lot of different items. You've got industrial style items like rusted tools, rusted gears, power cables, industrial batteries, advanced electricals, things like that. And then we've got some more medical style items like cracked bioscanner, durable cloth, rusted shut medical kit, antiseptic. And then we've got explosive items like synthesized fuel, laboratory reagent, explosive compound. And then we've got some electrical items like damaged heat sinks, fried motherboards, more electrical components. And then the Arc items, which is usually like the Rocketeer drivers, the Bombardier cells, the Arc alloy, that kind of stuff. So take a very close look at all of these items that you need, whether you use the MetaForge needed item tracker. So you can see it just above my head, needed items tracker. You click on that. And then from here, you go and click on the workshop. You can even sync your progress to your in-game account if you want to, but I find it's just as easier to do it manually. Use that or any other tool. Get an idea of exactly what you need before you start. Now, let's talk about the different routes we're going to do. Please excuse my shoddy little document here, but it's just an easy way to sort of explain visually what we're looking for. The two most the fastest way to do this, right? We're going to run Riven Tides and loot Stacking Yard 2 times. This should be enough. We can also walk towards Customer's House and loot a little bit there. But honestly, just doing Stacking Yard is pretty good. And you can do this in a couple runs. If you get unlucky, it might take a little bit longer, but you're guaranteed to get a lot of rusted tools, a lot of synthesized fuel, a lot of crude explosive, a lot of explosive compounds. And these ones, really easy to do just by looting Stacking Yard, the Stacking Yard containers. Whilst you're there, try and take down some Wasps and Hornets, and you should be able to get the Wasp drivers and Hornet drivers at the same time. Motors and industrial batteries also drop pretty commonly as well. You're going to need to get the rusted gear, right? 3 rusted gears. These do drop here as well, although no matter where you look, rusted gears are quite a rare drop. So it might take a few more raids to get lucky with these ones, but it is a good spawn here for the rusted gears too. So in my experience, 2 runs should be able to get all of these items, and the rusted gears may take a couple more runs. The puzzle room there does have a quite high rusted gear spawn rate, so you could do that as well. Now, once you've done all of that, you're going to want to move on to Stella and do the medical research area. You're going to be able to get all of these pretty commonly, so only a couple runs and you should be sorted there. You might be a little low on the antiseptic, but you can make up for it by doing your refiner if you pick up some great moulin. Advanced mechanicals, you can actually get that there by picking up all of these Telemontis crafting materials that break down into advanced mechanicals. There's a lot there, so pick up every single piece you can. You're going to get a lot of ticks, you're going to get a lot of fireballs and a lot of pops in the Telemontis medical area, so make sure to pick up the tick pods, fireball burners, and pop triggers. You should be able to do that pretty quickly. The damaged heat sinks and fried motherboards will spawn in the red server cabinets right there in the medical area. And if you need electrical components specifically, go to Seed Vault. Not only will you find more ticks there if you need them, but there's a bunch on the androids that you can loot and the breachable electrical cabinets all around Seed Vault. Now, that will take a couple raids. Bear in mind that whilst you're doing this, you want to try and find the deadline blueprint. This is why we're doing it on Stella. It's really quick to do on Stella, but also look for the deadline blueprint. That will help a lot. Now, once you've done that, your workshop tracker should look a little bit like this. So By the time you've done this, if you've played it like me, you should have been able to get your rusted tools, your mechanicals, your wash drivers, maybe a couple rusted gears, your advanced mechanicals. You may have even seen a couple sentinels on Riven Tides. They spawn quite commonly there, so you'll be able to start collecting those. You might have some. You should have all of this stuff done. You won't have the power cables yet necessarily, but you have all of the medical lab stuff. You might not have the rusted shut medical kit yet. They're quite rare. But you'll definitely have all of the explosive station stuff, and you should have all of the utility station stuff. Now you're going to need to focus on killing Ark. Hopefully you'll be able to have most of the explosive stations. So my first focus would be for you to go and kill Rocketeers. Get the Rocketeers done, go onto Blue Gate, and where you want to go is in the reinforced reception in Blue Gate, and just sit in the door here with whatever weapon you can. I would suggest just purchasing an anvil from Tianwen and upgrading that and using that to bring down the Rocketeer. You might need to do it a couple times, in and out, a couple times to get the 3 Rocketeer drivers. Now, once your explosive bench is fully leveled up, you'll then be able to use your deadline, right? You got the deadline blueprint. Whilst you're on Riven Tides, try to keep an eye out for some comets. If not, you can go back there and farm some comets to get the ingredients to craft the deadline. Once you've got the deadline, you're going to be able to deal with the Bastion and the Bombardier. My best suggestion is to do Buried City for the Bastion and Bombardier. The Bastion will usually spawn around here or here, and usually the Bastion and Bombardier on a day raid will swap spawn. Sometimes the Bastion can spawn here, sometimes the Bombardier can spawn on the parking garage. So what you want to do now is shoot out the Bastion's knee with whatever weapon you got, put the deadline on the back of the Bastion, kill it, and loot it up. Do the same with the Bombardier. Now, depending on your luck, you might be able to get the workshop requirements in 1 Bastion and Bombardier kill. It might take 2. Bear that in mind. There's also a leaper that spawns around here, so you can start collecting all your leaper pulse units and try and farm snitches as well. Snitches spawn quite a lot on Buried City. So the final little Ark farming is going to be a little bit more time consuming. You are going to need to get those leaper pulse units. You'll need 4 of those. The Bombardier cores, you'll need 6 of those. That might be 1 kill and maybe 2. Same with the Bastions, you'll need 6 of those. For the Surveyor Vault, I'd highly suggest doing Riven Tides. You could do Close Scrutiny. If that's still around, you could do Close Scrutiny because Surveyors spawn like crazy there, so that'd be pretty easy. But on Riven Tides, you get 2 Surveyor spawns, usually around like this side of the map, so they're pretty easy to catch as well. Another thing you could do is wait for Electro Storm and loot the Ark Couriers that are underground. They spawn more in Electro Storm. The Ark Couriers have inside them a chance for Surveyors and Sentinel cores. So the Sentinel firing cores, you'll be able to catch up on those pretty quickly. So keep that in mind as well. There'll be one final set of things you need is the toasters and power cables. And the rusted shut medical kit. Now, my best suggestion would to go to Spaceport, Departure Building, and loot all of the containers there. Very high chance for power cables and toasters. There's a cafeteria area where toasters spawn on the tables. Power cables will spawn inside the lootable office drawers like crazy. And there's also a medical area there where rusted shut medical kits can spawn. Failing that, you can go to the Buried City Hospital to pick up the rusted shut medical kits, quite commonly there as well. And that will be everything you need in terms of the workshop stuff, right? You'll get it all leveled up. Now, if you're building out a loadout, what I would suggest is going and buying the Looting Mark II from Lance. It costs 6,000 coins. So if you don't have any blueprints, you don't have any workshops built out yet, it's not a problem. Take that and then just bring your Rattler 2, which should come after doing the expedition or starting the game. Bring a Rattler 2, a little bit of ammo. That's all you need. So you can maximize the amount of space you've got on your backpack so that you can reduce the amount of runs it requires. Honestly, all in all, this will take a few hours to do. The hardest part will be killing the larger Ark, but it's going to be a lot easier if you can get that deadline blueprint, which spawns a lot on Stellar Montes. If you can't get the deadline blueprint, what you could do instead is go to the workshop in the explosive station and build out a bunch of light impact grenades. 25 on the top of a Bastion will kill it. You could do the same for a Bombardier. You just got to be a little bit careful of the explosions. It could be a way to do it as well. All in all, it'll be a pretty quick way to upgrade the workbenches. Just couple runs on Riven Tides, a couple runs on Stella Montes medical research, and then mostly you just got to farm the Ark and get those toasters and power cables on Spaceport. There's one more thing we haven't talked about, and that is Scrappy. Honestly, the fastest way to deal with Scrappy is Lush Blooms if it's available. Otherwise, the Stella Montes cafeteria, which is just here, there'll be a battery that spawns around and you can go inside and open it. Just do that a few times because there's 2 guaranteed fruit baskets inside. It's far quicker to do that than running around all of the maps trying to find mushrooms. That being said, though, the new map, Riven Tides, is quite good for all sorts of fruit. All along the riverbed, you'll find agave, you'll find mushrooms on the trees down here. So it's not terrible if you're looking for that stuff, but I'll just stick with Stella. Keep it simple, and you won't be running around every map fighting people over mushrooms. Much better. Thanks for watching. Hope this was useful, and I'll see you in the comments. Cheerio.